Just
Hey y'all. Hmm? Love you too. Hey y'all. Today I'm about to make some Yakamein. Yakamein is a dish that is, I guess, based out of New Orleans or whatever. That's what I keep hearing. It's based out of New Orleans, but it's similar to what I make on the regular, but I be adding a little extra stuff to mine. So, and sometimes I make it like give it a little teriyaki flavor to it. Sometimes, a lot of times I give it a little teriyaki flavor. So I'm finna show y'all how I'm finna put this yakamein together. I done already cut up everything and we is ready to go, y'all. This gonna be real quick and fast. I got water boiling and all, so baby, we finna get going, okay? So let's get into this recipe. Y'all make sure y'all ring that doorbell, hit the thumbs up the like button. Alright? Alright, so in my yakamein, we're gonna be using steak. I got sausage, and then I sliced up a whole onion, and then I cleaned and deveined some shrimp. And so what we about to do is, I'm gonna cut the sausage up after I season it too. But what we about to do is, we're gonna take us some soy sauce and we're gonna add it to the shrimp. You're gonna need Tony seasoning, onion powder, garlic powder, beef bouillon seasoning, celery salt. You're gonna need you some celery or celery salt. Bell pepper. I ain't have no bell pepper, so we ain't gonna cry over what we ain't got. And also you're gonna need some green onion to garnish with. We ain't got none of that either. You're gonna need some Worcestershire sauce. And I'm gonna use a little bit of my seafood seasoning I got mixed up in there. Alright, so on the shrimp we doing the soy sauce. And we're going to add a little of this here seafood seasoning. You can use Old Bay or whatever kind of seafood seasoning that you like. So we're going to get that on there. Then I'm going to add a little onion powder, garlic powder. Alright. And then that's it. So we're gonna mix that there on up and let that dough just sit till we ready for it. Like that though. Alright, so now on the steak, we're going to just season it up with our garlic powder, onion powder, Tony's Creole seasoning, Worcestershire sauce, a little soy sauce, just a little bit, I'm going to add a little salt and pepper. Dealing with beef, so we need a little salt and pepper. And we're going to get that there mixed up. And you can use like like beef cubes, or get you a roast, cut it up in cubes. You just have to cook all of that a little longer. little bit more salt on it. Make sure it's seasoned. Alright, so now we're going to let all this here sit till we're ready. And I have some eggs boiling. Okay, and I cut up my sausage. Now sausage is something I added to it because whenever I do like my little version of this that I didn't know what was called Yakamein, I like to add sausage to mine. So I'm adding sausage in it. But that's not in their recipe. I don't think they put sausage in theirs. Alright, so now let's season up our broth. You want to add your beef bouillon seasoning or better than bouillon, whichever one you go with. Give it a nice beefy flavor. Then we're going to add some celery salt. This is where you will add your celery to it. Or you can pan sear it first, then add it however. We're going to add some black pepper. We're just going to season this up, make it a real good broth. That's what you're trying to do. Black pepper. Tony's. Garlic and onion powder. And y'all, they ain't gonna eat none. I kept trying to ask him to eat some, but he don't want none, so I'm making him some burgers. Alright, so got that. Then okay, so we're gonna mix all this here together and then I'm gonna give it a taste to see if it's seasoned enough for me. But you definitely want to have a nice beefy flavor to it. Okay. We need some salt. Probably that's it, to wake them flavors up. And I'm gonna put some seafood seasoning in it. And my seafood seasoning is gonna give it a little kick. Oh yeah. Ooh, that tastes good. Okay, them flavors done came on. Ooh. Alright, so that's the broth. Alright, so now let's get to cooking up the steak and stuff. Alright, so I'm getting my water boiling over here for my pasta. You're gonna need you some spaghetti noodles. You can use ramen noodles. You can use thin spaghetti. Whatever kind of, pasta noodles. It's up to you. But I'm using the thin spaghetti. The regular spaghetti. Okay, so, and I'm just using what I had in the cabinet because I never buy thin spaghetti. But maybe if I like this here, this way, I might, because normally when I do my noodles and stuff, I always pretty much did it with the regular noodles. I ain't never used spaghetti noodles and stuff. We burning up the butter, but it's all good. Okay, so I'm about to fry out this here steak. And see, when you do theirs, they boil their meat until it's tender because they use like beef stew meat. But I want mine seared like a good old steak. So that's how I'm doing mine. So that's what we're going to do. And I don't like my steak like well done. So yeah, that's another thing too. Like I don't want no boiled meat over in broth. Like I'm going to show y'all how I'm going to do mine. Mine's going to be full of flavor. I ain't going to say theirs ain't full of flavor, but the way I'm doing mine's going to be full of flavor because I'm going to tell you when we get to that point how they do theirs. But yeah, we're just going to brown up this little steak. Brown that bad boy up. They don't have to cook long at all. Just give me some color. I'm going to be good to go. So I'm going to season up, go ahead on and season up my water for my noodles. Got to season the noodles, y'all. So I'm putting in some salt. Make your water solid so you can season it. And I'm adding some chicken bouillon to my noodles. Salt and chicken bouillon. You know what? I'm going to add the beef bouillon since I got beef going on. We're just going to add some beef bouillon up in there. Since we got the beef going on. And right on a little bit now. You know what? I'm going to season. I'm going to put some onion powder. I don't want no plain taste of noodles. They just boil their noodles regular. I want some flavor for noodles. If I'm going to eat these noodles, I want my noodles flavorful. Alright, so garlic powder, onion powder, chicken bouillon, no, that was beef bouillon, a little salt, and celery salt. Alright, and that's going to be the liquid for the water for the noodles. Alright, so let's check this here, so it might be time to flip it. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, just like I wanted, just like that. Cook it for about a minute on that side, and that's going to be done. That's good enough for me. Good enough. And we're just going to let these sit rest. They hot, so they're going to keep on cooking. And then I got another one to put up in here. So we're going to do that one. And I'm going to just go ahead on and cook up my onions a little bit. I didn't want to just boil my onions. I wanted to saute them because I want them to have just a little bite to them. And I'm going to add the rest up in there once I try to make one. So yeah, this is a little different from how they do it, but it's going to be about the same. I'm just doing my stuff. They do theirs separate too, but then once they cook it, they add it all into the broth. I don't want to do that. I want mine to stay separate, and I add it into the broth as I get ready to eat it because I don't want my steak overly done, and I don't want my shrimp like rubber. So that's why I'm doing mine like this, to keep all them flavors. Alright, so I can add rest of the onions now. Just like that. I'm just a flavor kind of girl, and I got to have flavor. Got to. It's a must. No exception. And this is how I'm going to build it up. Just knock the little raw taste off the onion. Let it pick up them seasonings out that pan. That's how I'm doing mine, just like that. And the little juices that's running off the steak, we'll just dump that right on in our broth. Back there. Yep. Natural flavor. So that's it for the steak and the onions. That's it. Okay, so hold on, let me put this to the side. Alright, so don't want to waste all this flavor, okay, because that's what we're here for, the flavor. So I'm going to take some of this broth here and deglaze my pan. And we're going to dump that right on the back there in that broth. Just add more and more flavor. Ooh. Get that there. We're gonna put all that in there. Ooh, child, just built the flavor up more, girl. Okay, so now we got that done. I'm just gonna add just a tinge more butter. Okay, and now I'm gonna start browning up the sausage. I'm gonna brown that up. Get that flavor on there. Okay, so now we're going to take our noodles and go ahead on and get some drop down. So we're going to get that done, boiled up to your desired taste, doneness or whatever. We're going to roll these over. I ain't going to burn the pan on this either because we're going to use the flavor from this pan as well and dump it in our broth. So they say, I watched a couple people make this recipe or whatever. I watched Andrew make it, and I also watched Beatty make it. And who was it? Somebody was, I don't know, somebody was saying if you let the noodles sit overnight or whatever in that broth, it'll have a better flavor, right? So that's why it's good to boil the noodles in the beef bouillon seasoning, and you'll have that flavor in it from boiling them. Just a little tip. All right. So now we're gonna remove the sausage from the pan. And now you want to go in with your right in. You got enough oil to cook your shrimp. And guess what? These are some Louisiana shrimp. When I was down in New Orleans, I had bought these when I was down there. So when you start seeing white around the side, you know it's time to flip them. See how they're getting white? don't roll them over. So by the time you roll them over and let them cook for like another minute, they're done. They should be pink then. And the white that I'm talking about, you'll see it creeping up the edges. It started to look like it's cooking. So we're just going to get a good little sear on it. Alright, so that's it. I'm going to undercook them just a little bit, which they still done, but I don't want them like all the way done because you got to put them in your broth and that broth don't finish cooking them. So it's okay to undercook these a little bit. Alright, so now I'm just going to get those on my plate too. By the time I get them out the pan, they're going to be done. Shoot. Should have had my bowl ready. Alright, let's get those out. I did turn it off though. Some big old shrimp pan. So now we're going to deglaze this pan. Okay. And we're going to deglaze the pan again, girl. Get all that flavor out of it. Get that double glaze and we're going to dump that right there, right on in that stock. Mix that around. Now look at that good old goodness. Good and dark. That's gonna be good. Alright, so we about to get ready to assemble this here. But before we do, get my stuff. The broth gonna stay in the pot till it cool down. My noodles. Girl, what am I doing? Let me see. I got a noodle spoon. What is it? Girl, let me dump the broth off of it. Alright, now let's cook this together. Alright, so we're gonna get some noodles in the bowl. And they hot too. Don't rinse your noodles off. I saw them rinsing their noodles off, but I ain't rinsed mine off, y'all. I don't like the rinsed noodle taste. So we're gonna get some noodles. Okay. Then, girl, because I ain't finna be Alright. So, anywho, like I was finna say, girl, I ain't finna be pulling out now another big cutting board or nothing to cut up my meat. We're gonna use this knife here, this scissors. And look at them. It's not too done. Still bleeding a little bit, but I'm cool with that because I like mine like that. This hot broth gonna finish cooking it. So I'm just slicing it thin. Or you just cut it however you want. You can cut it in chunks. Whatever. Yep. That way when I warm this up tomorrow, my steak won't be too done. And it's good and tender too. Okay, so we got our steak on now. I'm gonna get y'all down in there, girl. Okay, so we got the steak on there. Then we're gonna add some sauce. We're gonna add some onions. Some onions to get down in there. Then we're gonna add some sausage. Save some. I'm gonna save those. Sausage. Then we're gonna add. Okay, so we're gonna add some of this broth here. Add much as you want. Like that. And that right there gonna do a little something to the meat. Then we're gonna add our shrimp. Then you're gonna add okay. Then you want to add your eggs to it. Like so. Then we're going to garnish with a few more onions. This way you will add your green onion. But I ain't got no green onion, so we're just going to add a little bit more onion up in there. Like that. And that's that, y'all. That's how you make that Yakamein. New Orleans style. Yakamein, but also Tiana style. Because it's definitely my style. Because they have everything in the pot. So when you scoop up your meat, your onions, your everything, shrimp. I ain't want it like that. Because I didn't want my shrimp rubbery. But yeah, that's it there, y'all. That's the Yakamein. So, If you tried, leave a comment and let me know what you think about it. If you try it my way. Make sure you season your broth real good, because the broth is what's going to make everything else good, okay? But make sure you season that broth good. All right, y'all. So don't forget to hit that like. And, oh, let me taste it with y'all real quick. Hold up. All right, let's get this to taste. Right on time kind of meal. Taste the broth first. So my broth, it do have like a little spicy kick to it. That's from my seafood seasoning. Ooh. Yeah, that's good and flavorful. Oh yeah, perfect. Taste the noodles. I'm finna go enjoy this. You'll top it with the green onions too if you had some, like I said. The crunch from the onions is a yes. We're gonna get some of that. Steak, shrimp. We need some onions. Oh, sausage. Girl, this is gonna be a big bite. Put some onions on them. Get a bite of egg. Y'all, this busting. Girl. Oh yeah. I gotta go. Let me go. Alright, y'all. It's a 10. I forgot to tell you, when you get ready to eat it, top it with a little soy sauce. Let's try it with it. I just topped it with a little bit, because I don't really need a lot of seasoning with mine. Mine's seasoned. Oh yeah. That soy sauce empty that flavor.